All right, this is the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. And this video is not for any monetary gain. It is explicitly for the reasons stipulated in the Copyright Act of 1976 under Section 107.
To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice.
Listen to me good, because it's going to be a lot of information coming at you fast, but it's super important that everybody in the United States hear this. You could download it, you could share it, you don't need to tag me. It is just information that you guys need. When the big, beautiful bill was signed into legislation via Congress, it allocated $170 billion. That's already happened to ICE, to the Department of Homeland Security. There is another bill that Congress is about to pass for another $28 billion to go to the FBI as well as ICE. ICE now has the largest law enforcement budget. It is larger than all law enforcement agencies combined, okay? Why are they funneling them so much money? They are building their own private prison system. This is already underway. It is already being done. It is overseen by the FBI. They don't answer to the judges. They don't answer to anybody but the President of the United States. So the President of the United States of America will have his own prison system. It is an industrial prison system. He profits off of people being in jail, okay? That's how the American prison system has always worked. ICE agents are able to act with full impunity, and they are going to get paid for imprisoning you. ICE agents are also being trained by the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Forces. The IDF is the Israeli army that is responsible for committing the genocide against Palestine. I'll let you fall down the rabbit hole and watch all of the footage of all of the horror they are inflicting upon the Palestinian people. But these are the people responsible for training ICE in crowd responses. So ICE's job is to specifically antagonize the American citizens so that they can act with full impunity, whether it's murdering them or imprisoning them. If they murder you, then they get rid of what they would consider a dissenter. If they imprison you, then they have a slave to make money off of. Either way, your interactions with ICE guarantee that the president makes more profit off of the citizens of the United States of America, and the most cruelest army we have seen in modern history is the one responsible for training ICE, but it doesn't stop there. Larry Ellison and Peter Thiel are American billionaires who are Israeli Zionists. They are outwardly donating money to the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. They are in support of Israel and the current genocide happening to Palestine. These are American billionaires, and they are billionaires by way of developing AI surveillance software. Currently, Israel and the IDF are using this AI surveillance software to help implement the genocide. It's also used in the United Kingdom for their digital ID, and ICE agents are already illegally using AI surveillance software provided to them by Israeli Zionists. All of this is intertwined. And if you're just new to this, Peter Thiel is also currently investing in offshore AI equipment that will mine minerals and gold in Greenland, anticipating the president is going to invade. So all of this is undoubtedly for the profit of the ruling billionaire class. What does that mean if you're a Trump supporter? It means this has fuck all to do with immigration. What does this mean if you're not a Trump supporter? It means that as an activist or even just a liberal, you are a dissenter. You are a target, and they very much have the surveillance software they need to determine who you are, where you live, and furthermore, target you. Now, I know a lot of you gung-ho Republicans are thinking, well, the army is going to come and save the American people. No, it's not. The Secretary of the Department of Defense is a man by the name of Steven Feinberg. Steven Feinberg is a Zionist. Steven Feinberg owns the second largest bank in Israel. Steven Feinberg owns an American company. He is a billionaire. It is called Capital Management. Capital Management's sole purpose is to provide privatized military contracts to the United States Department of Defense, which he is the secretary of. It's also massively important that we remind Americans they just failed their financial audit and can account for $506 billion of American taxpayer money that was budgeted to the Department of Defense. Why am I saying all of this? It's more likely that the Army would pair with the FBI, ICE, and IDF to further oppress citizens of the United States. They have made it very well known via Project 25 and Project 26 that they intend on getting rid of 100 million Americans. 100 million Americans is roughly 1/3 of the population in the United States of America. These people are now financed to commit a genocide, capable and willing to commit a genocide, and are operating with the backing, training, and also planning of people who are actively committing a genocide. There has never been a greater risk for the genocide of the citizens of the United States of America than there is at present. It does not matter what your political affiliation is. When AI surveillance kicks in, you will not have free speech. You will not have the constitutional right to peaceful assembly. You will not have the right to bear arms. You will not have freedom of press. And you will not have taxation with representation, because they are adamantly and vigorously funding a police authoritarian state while you don't have health care, while you don't have FEMA relief, while your children's Department of Education for the entire United States as a whole was defunded and funneled into the Department of Labor. They are intentionally letting you know that you and your children will be slaves if you are a Trump loyalist with none of your constitutional rights. And that is the best case scenario for those of you who have white skin in the United States of America. For the rest of everybody else, whether you're an activist, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a minority, whether you're a woman, whether you're a migrant or an illegal migrant, you are a person of interest, and you are undoubtedly under attack, and the war they have declared is on you. I said it before yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today. The President of the United States of America has declared war on the citizens of the United States of America. Minneapolis is a very small example of what is to come for every city in the United States, especially now that they have the budgeting that they need, and they are already A, ramping up operations, B, ramping up recruitment, and C, building their privatized prison facility. You have two options right now. You either fight for your freedom or you leave. It is officially fight or flight time in the United States of America. Do with this information what you will, but first and foremost, I genuinely hope you spread it.
What's happening? Dale here. So now, new rules on what's going on with the ICE situation. Okay, and I think this is very important. I think now it's time for black men to actually start paying attention to what's going on out there. I know many of you try to act like, hey, man, well, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Well, it's getting ready to get close to that time, okay? So now they're trying to put out there, I guess they're arguing in court right now, which I heard about it last month, but I guess now they're getting closer to it. They're trying to say that your regular ID is not good enough. If you got real ID, that's not good enough. Because they're trying to say that they're trying to say that the DMV has been compromised and they can't even tell from there if a person's a real citizen or not. So now they're saying that a passport is your only method of being able to prove who you are. And this is problematic. From my understanding, for years when I owed child support, I wasn't eligible for a passport. I know that there's thousands of black men that owe child support are going to be eligible for, you're not going to be able to get a passport. So this is going to set the precedence that when these people stop you, if they decide they want to take it to the next level, they literally can take you off to a camp some damn where and let them sort it off at some camp. And there's no telling how long you're going to be there. Okay? This is serious stuff here. We're at that point now. Yeah, this is what they were talking about in Nazi Germany when they was running up upon people trying to check their papers to see if a person was if they were Jewish or whatever, to take them off to these camps. It seems like almost every minority now this time is on the list. And the crazy thing about it is, we got, other minorities that are helping them do this. There are Mexicans and stuff that are working for ICE. There are blacks that are working for ICE. You see what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure when they come to our neighborhoods, it's going to be some of our own brothers that's going to be walking around there on a power trip, to get back at some people that, because of whatever reason. Unfortunately, this is going to be the case. So even in the time of slave catchers, they had black slavers. They had black slave catchers. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that have the dream of taking something out on their brothers seem to be worse than all of them. I actually look at Marco Rubio as the Judas for the Latin community. I think that Marco never really fit in with that lifestyle down there. I think that he always, wanted to be pretty much Spanish. I think he didn't want to, I think he wasn't happy with the title that he got to be in Latin. And I guess he felt like if he became Spanish, then he will be, ushered into whitehood. And I think that's the reason why they're putting him over, most of because for one, he's Spanish speaking. Two, he's got that Blanco look. And it just seems like, just like what they did with us with J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover was black. A lot of people don't know that attacked us in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? They always get one of us to go against each other that causes the most damage. But I say that to say, look, man, start, if you try to have to get your hands on a passport. I just saw what happened with the black father that, that had the 6 kids. Only thing he was trying to do was get out the way. And they shot a tear gas into his car and might have killed one of his kids. You see what I'm saying? And he was black. They were oh, you running? Boom. They just started lighting this van up. This is the kind of shit they on. So that's why I told y'all, when y'all see them in the vicinity, man, y'all need to clear the area immediately, as fast as you can. Because like I told you guys a while back, I said that it's going to come a time where it's not going to be no more about the immigration. It's going to be, we're looking for criminals. We're looking for dissidents and shit like that. It's the exact same playbook. You guys don't want to even believe it. It's the exact same playbook they did in Nazi Germany. They came in for one group, started spreading it out to the next group. Now we got to be able to get this other group. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, they see the left as their enemy. So anybody that looks like they're compiled part of the left is their enemy. They want to get at blacks, but the thing about it is, there are a lot of black men and stuff like that are in the military, stuff like that, still have an attachment to their homes. And I think they're trying to gradually get into it and try to make it look like we're more of an enemy so that they could have a reason to attack black neighborhoods. Because they know if they start doing that en masse, they're going to have a major systemic problem, especially in the military. So just keep your eyes open, man. They're out there. I seen them the other day at I'm going to start snapping pictures when I see them, too. I see them the other day over there at Oakland at Pack and Save when they pulled up. And, you know, I told a couple of people that was over there, and like you said, it was a nonchalant thing, like, yeah, man, fuck them. What are they going to do? I'm like, look, man, y'all need to start taking these guys seriously. And I didn't have too much to say. And I said, okay, y'all going to hang around here? Well, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I treat them just like I do if task force, if the police, anybody else come hanging around. Get out of the vicinity. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are worse. You know, the fact that these guys are taking, and then I just seen a list of how many people have died. People are getting killed inside of these camps. Okay? They got a little cartoon that's on here that I spread it around, that the guy said that he was like, man, I'm going to give you a list of everybody that have died in ICE hands. Now, this ain't even people that have been shot on the street. We're talking about inside of the camps, people are being killed. They're being strangled. They're being hung. They're being starved. People are being denied their medication in there, and they're dying. They got heart patients that came in there that needed medication. They just just let them die. People that had diabetes and stuff that went in there, they don't get no insulin or none of that. They just let them die. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a joke. This game. This is not a game that they're playing. You know what I'm saying? This is life and death now, and you guys need to start taking it seriously. The hell out.
All right, folks, look at it. It's starting to come out. Bam, already, ERO. The ERO, Enforcement and Removal Operations Team. That's our foreign involvement right there. These people are from the blue country. That's who's infiltrated our streets. This was a post that just popped up on Telegraph. And look, he's back there in the back for a different shot. Yep, the ERO, folks. It's not ICE. This is more than 50% is IDF or ex-IDF. This is foreign invasion. The ERO.
Oh, this is big news, and it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court. And let me tell you, this is terrifying, and I am not being hyperbolic here. ICE is in court right now arguing on behalf of American citizens for a Papers, Please America. Their position right here in black and white is that state IDs and real IDs are no longer reliable proof that you belong in the United States of America, which means, according to them, immigration agents can stop you, detain you, handcuff you, and run your biometrics without probable cause until the government decides whether you're allowed to be free, whether you're here legally. And that is not law enforcement. That is pre-constitutional policing. This is how secret police operate, not by charging you with a crime, but by suspending your liberty while they check to make sure that you're innocent. See, ICE is effectively arguing that citizenship is conditional unless you have a passport on you, because that is the only paperwork that's going to work in their view. So let's talk about what that actually means in real life, because most Americans don't carry a passport. Millions don't even have one. So who's going to get stopped? People with accents, people with brown skin, people who look foreign. And ICE says they're not targeting citizens, but their own argument makes citizens detainable first and innocent later. That flips the Constitution on its head. You're presumed guilty first, in their view. I mean, the Fourth Amendment at least requires probable cause, and the Fifth guarantees due process. ICE is trying to bypass both of those amendments by calling these detention administrative. But there's nothing administrative about being handcuffed, held for any length of time, fingerprinted, and treated like a suspect without suspicion simply because of the color of your skin or an accent. And this is not about border security. This is about expanding government power to stop and restrain whoever they choose, and forcing you to prove that you are innocent rather than prove that you're guilty. And courts fortunately have not approved this yet, but the fact that the federal government has even been making this argument tells you everything. And this is going to go to the Supreme Court. A 6-3 conservatively biased towards Donald Trump's Supreme Court. I mean, this is a vision of America where freedom is provisional, citizenship is interrogated, and rights depend on what's in your pocket. And that's not security. That's authoritarianism with a badge. And if people don't push back now, this won't stop with immigration checks, because it never does.
I think ICE is about to become something so much more sinister than simple immigration enforcement. Now, they're fucking that up anyway, but I don't think people understand where this is headed. Just using the evidence that we have, guys. Let's start with this. Start with the budget. The budget of ICE is larger than the United States Marine Corps. Okay? They have no hiring standards. They're offering $50,000 bonuses to 70-year-olds. They have no age restrictions. They're giving them grade A weaponry and pumping out F-grade personnel with 47 days of training. We know they're F-grade personnel because it was found out that Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, a man convicted of seditious conspiracy against his own government, is an ICE agent. So when you ask where all those Second Amendment people went, they're ICE agents now. The people that would fight against a tyrannical government are doing the tyranny. All right? Now stick with me here. Remember when we snatched Maduro? What was that? That was a law enforcement action. They stuck DOJ personnel inside of Chinook helicopters with Delta Force and went and got them and bombed all the anti-aircraft around them and said that was a law enforcement action. Donald Trump is threatening to use the Insurrection Act, which would greenlight the military going into Minnesota. Okay, you see how this is starting to connect a little bit? If we expand our foreign policy perspective here and we do attack an ally, and like I said in my other video that everybody watched, suddenly our allies become our enemies and we are all treasonous. We are traitors of the state. And the Insurrection Act is invoked with ICE agents all over the place, backed by the U.S. military. You're harboring enemies of the state, are you not? Seen that movie, right? We are so close to a terrible scenario. ICE agents are about to become the largest paramilitary force on the planet. They're pumping them out so fast. 47 days of training. Boom, get out, boys. Go get them. And they love it. They love it. Look at them. Look how they act, fucking bitch. Right? So we have what could potentially be U.S. military covering for ICE agents, which I would assume would come up with a new name, call them shock troops at this point, who could be going against U.S. citizens who are now traitors because they used to support their allies. Going after treasonous people in their view, right? This could get dark really fast.